Hello, my name's Ed Marsh and I have the absolute honour of being the Chief Executive of a charity called the Tutor Trust. We provide tutoring to young people based on need rather than parental ability to pay. And ahead of today's budget, I've come to the fantastic Peel Park Primary School here in Bradford. I'm going to meet the head teacher and talk a bit about the impact that tuition has. Funding for tuition was introduced as part of the COVID catch-up programme by the government, and since then hundreds of thousands of young people have benefited from millions of hours of tuition. As it stands, the funding for next year isn't confirmed, and so I'm here to understand what's going on at the moment and the impact it would have if that funding wasn't continued. And I'm joined by its head teacher, Mrs Grist.
So we're a three-form entry primary school with a nursery. We're in the outskirts of Bradford centre. Got around 39% of children that come from disadvantaged background, and we've got a large proportion of children with special educational needs.
Yeah. And you've been at this school for a couple of years, and currently you offer tuition to young people as part of the government's intervention?
We do, yeah. Right? So this year we've invested in tuition for 75 children, and we're just coming to the end of that first tranche of tuition, and we're going to start now to focus on some children who need some extra tuition in phonics and in again some maths for year 4.
And I guess the fact that you're renewing it speaks for itself, but you see the benefit that has on the young people and on their approach to learning.
Absolutely. So we've chosen children specifically, and for them having that extra hour a week in a very small group with somebody, regularly looking at the gaps in their learning has been a real benefit for them.
And historically in the UK, access to tuition was all private, so it was only available based on parental ability to pay.
Yeah.
Obviously in a school like this, to be able to offer that based on need and based on teacher referral must have a really significant impact in terms of the disadvantage gap that we have in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. So the vast majority of the children that receive tuition at Peel Park are eligible for free school meals. They just wouldn't be able to afford private tuition. So this is a real benefit that they have access to. Yeah, so
if the funding isn't continued, that will reintroduce that gap that was there before, won't it?
Yeah, and as a school, without the funding, we wouldn't be able to provide the tuition. Yeah, and I think what's added to it really has been the squeeze on school budgets. So,
and the other thing is that funding for tuition was introduced as part of the COVID catch-up scheme. Obviously, you're on the front line seeing this sort of day in, day out. Is COVID still having an impact, or have we caught up?
Yeah, no, we haven't caught up. For some children, these were children that weren't even in school at the time of COVID, but their early years experiences were quite different. So the foundations that they had when they came to school were quite different. So we had a different starting point. And for those that are in Key Stage 2 that have had tuition, it's not been 15 weeks really of 1 hour a week, although it's been fantastic, hasn't been enough to plug that gap that maybe it was created over a period of about 2 years.
Yeah. So the need is still there.
Yeah.
Tuition works, but if the funding isn't continued, it's going to be really hard to carry on tuition in this school, and that will be a real shame. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time today. I've certainly learned a lot from that conversation, and hopefully the people who need to hear the message do. And we're able to carry on providing tuition and working together long into the future.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Thank you.